I'm Hon.Ferdinand Dozie Nwankwo, member representing the group of Njikoka and Ocha, the Nkofia Federal Constituency, and I'm from Anambra State. One era of COVID-19, which is actually affecting everyone globally, and it's affected us even in the Ninth Assembly. I got in here 21st of November 2019, and after my swearing in, we had a little break for Christmas before resumption, February, and we were hit by COVID-19 pandemic, and everyone left. And this is my 1 year and some few months. I can say that not too bad, because I'm not a new member. I came in here as a second-timer, ranking member, and met a lot of challenges. We're trying our best in terms of bills that were presented. You know, when you present a bill, it goes for first reading and takes you to second reading, and also public hearing, and coming back to third reading. So I've done a couple of bills, and most of the bills are coming up for second reading. And by 5 bills so far I've put in place for this my Ninth Assembly. And because we are many, and because we are observing COVID rules, the system have really changed. It's not working the way it was supposed to do. So we are patiently waiting for when our bills will come up for second reading. And that's it on the actual the area of the bills. And this particular bill I presented that have to do with proceeds of crime bill is a bill that I want to establish an agency that will manage the proceeds that are recovered from crime. And this bill also was presented to us by the executive. So we are going to present it for second reading. We're waiting for it. It has not yet matured to come to the floor of the House for second reading. And also a bill for us to establish public service institute. You know, it's already in existence, but we want to make it, want to give it a legal backing by the Act of National Assembly. And it's also a beautiful one that has to do with training and also leadership for public servants. So, and so many other bills that we're waiting for my own time for it to be come for second reading. Because we didn't have so much powers. Our powers, like you know, rightly said, lawmakings, oversight function, so scrutinizing the agencies. So alleviating poverty, in a sense, or bringing something that have to do with my constituents to discuss in the floor is have not been easy thing to do. So what I'm saying is that in effect, that sometimes you have a dream to help your people in so many ways, but we are restricted and putting under pressure. You know, so I am actually an advocate of free healthcare for our people. You know, when you have free healthcare and bringing the health facility to the grassroots, and apart from the health facility, also making sure that people have a job creation for our people. And that is why we are also, like, I'm also going to do a bill that will enable us to have a agricultural research institute, bring it over to my constituent, and I'm working hard to get it, to create jobs for our people, and keeping our youths engaged. Making is, you know, I came from a private sector, and when I was in my private business, it's a different thing altogether in the house. You have to go and do so much research, and you have to do a lot of reading for you to meet up with the reality of what's going on in the country. And it has been tough. At the same time, it's a learning process, because year in, year out, we learn a lot of things. We learn how to approach issues as it concerns our country, how to approach issues that is sensitive, how to approach so many issues in the floor. And I can tell you that it's an interesting, it's very interesting to me, and stressful at the same time, interesting. We have learned a lot of things. I've learned a lot of things in the floor, a lot of things in the house, a lot of things going for various engagement in committees, and going for so many oversight functions. So I can say that is something that is a welcome development to me, and I believe that some other of my colleagues is not easy, but we are going somewhere. Spokesperson, when you say our constituents are giving us so much pressure, and it's very, very simplified that our primary responsibility is lawmaking, oversight function, and to scrutinize and oversight agencies of federal government. That's what we're doing. But you see, because of so many things that have gone wrong, bad so many years ago, and we have a lot of decay in our infrastructure, and so many things I mean, how will I put it? I cannot even blame the constituent, because if you have social security and you have a lot of things that government ordinarily should have been doing for people or citizens of the country, and have not been doing that, who they come? They will come to their representatives, and they keep on pressuring us, house rents, so many things, burial, and so on and so forth. Able to take their children to hospital, they come to us. So sometimes you find out that it's not the issue that's happening now is not, I don't know who to blame. Basically, that the past leaders that have got it wrong. They didn't do. But like I always say, these are opportunities that God have given us to serve our people. Instead of us to complain, we are going to be working hard to see that we correct all those things, the past mistakes of our past leaders. That is my point. Let us stop complaining. Yes, the pressure is there. Yes, that's what we choose, because nobody forced us to contest, and that is our country. We are going to work so hard in making sure that we provide the way and what you think that we do that will be better for our citizens, and basically and primarily in our various constituencies. We need to actually start from calling town hall meetings and letting people know, starting from individual constituents. It is not about, I mean, all of us, so many of us here, some people are in an advantage situation. So many of us have different way we operate. So I will not really say generally, holistically. For example, if you talk about the Speaker of the House and leadership, you see they have their own leverage. They have something they can leverage on. So people like us that came up were not members of any were not chairmen, and we don't have opportunity to even be in leadership. We depend on our salaries, depend on our allowances, and because I came from a private sector, I've done a lot of things on my own. So therefore, I cannot really say in general terms. But at the same time, we have to be saying it the way it is. Our primary responsibility is lawmaking. It is not for us to build road. It is not for us to build schools. We appropriate for the executive to do that. But it is not our mandate to feed or to pay school fees or all those things. But at the same time, nobody forces you. Nobody wants to force you to do what you don't have to. If you know what you can do, do for humanity's sake. Knowing fully well that our country is, how will I put it, is something that is something that has been over the years troubled us. So what we are going to do is to continue to do what is best for us individually, and to tell the world and to tell our constituents through town hall meeting. Like me, I don't waste time to tell you. I met so many things. I am not executive. I don't have the power to award contract. I don't award contract. I can suggest through a zonal intervention some projects that can affect my constituent or constituency positively. That is what I can do. But for me to follow it up to execution or award is not our duty. The only thing we can do is to nominate, suggest. Sometimes when you suggest, like even the capital project, something I have to do, they change it. I don't know how it happens. So what I'm saying is that we continue to do our best for the best of our nation. That is what we swore to do, and by the grace of God, we know that Nigeria will get better. Like I said to you, I came from a private sector. I do things. Something that has to do come from the spirit and mind. So I have this passion to doing good already. So before I even came to the National Assembly, I have free health, Hon.Ferdinand Dozie Nwankwo Foundation, which I do free health services. I do educational support program and host of other things I do. So from there, I reconnect to my concern. I go to them and I talk with them as always. And because of this COVID, you know, everybody knows the COVID rules, so we try to avoid crowd. But at the same time, we cannot avoid them forever. We still connect to them so that we have a good and better relationship. I can tell you categorically that I'm very sad. It's something that I don't know how to say it, but I don't want to be say about political correctness, but every day or every sitting right from 8th Assembly, we discuss it. There's no day that we won't do it urgent discussion in the Parliament. So we finish discussion, and maybe the President have heard the cry of the people and decided to change the service chiefs. I want to believe that we'll give them time and look up to them to do what they needful. Nigerians are getting tired. We're not safe, you know. And anybody that tells you that is all well in security, no. The primary responsibility of this government, of every government, of any government, is security and welfare of the citizens. That's the main priority. And if you fail on that, you know what it is. So we need to improve on in that area. We need to improve. I see a lot of things on social media, a lot of things, robbery, kidnap, banditry, and even some section of the country where they negotiate with the bandits. I believe strongly that the approach to this is not to negotiate with bandits. We have what it takes. We have appropriated a lot of funds to the military and the security, so they want to see results. And let's believe that this current new service chiefs, I believe they have come. Let's see what they will do within this short period. I believe that Nigerians are waiting. At the same time, we are crying that we need Mr. President to actually do something about it. And apart from even the service chiefs that were appointed, we need to engage them from time to time. Even the media should engage them. We should see a way to solve, because you know we are afraid, because it's something that I have to build generational. It's not only now. If you don't curb it right now, a lot of things will go wrong in this country. So I have a lot of projects I'm doing. A lot of ones I've completed. I have these signature projects that have to do with ICT and training center. It's a project that I started with my salaries and my allowances holistically, working on it since 8th Assembly, and I believe that this year I want to commission it, and the center will be having about less than 200 seaters of computers, and it's going to be centralized, and it's going to be for my constituent. Another project I'm also doing I brought to road work, schools, hospitals, and all that, trying to change the narrative, trying to, even at this period that is very things are tough, and Nigeria and the whole world is experiencing COVID-19 pandemic. I believe that I have a lot of things to do, and most importantly, this research institute I want to sponsor, and I want to follow it up to make sure that my constituent will benefit from federal government initiative.